A lot of rumors have been circulating about the final couples on Singles Inferno Season 4. Alongside these rumors, there are also various speculations. First, there's talk about Theo and Eugene possibly being a final couple, as they were spotted using matching symbols on their phone cases. It's too early to tell if this rumor is true, although it's possible. Sadly, I'm not buying it, at least not yet. Then, there's the speculation surrounding Si-an and Jun-seo being an endgame couple. Fans noticed that Si-an posted pictures of herself at a cafe owned by Jun-seo. Jun-seo's cafes are actually owned by 5 friends including himself. Interestingly, one of Jun-seo's co-owners is Jio-rae from Heart Signal 4. However, some viewers have expressed concerns about Si-an and Jun-seo's potential relationship, with a few even hesitant to support them because of Jun-seo's connection to Jio-rae. I guess the way Jio-rae played his game with his partner after Heart Signal still left a sour taste in people's mouth. What do you guys think? But should Jun-seo be judged based on his friends, or should we focus on his own personality? Also, Si-an posted one of these photos of herself at the cafe twice. One was after their shoot sometime in July and the other in October. Can she really post this photo if she and Jun-seo really ended up together as a couple? Wouldn't that mean she's spoiling the show too early? She has since taken those photos down, so what do you all think? I'd love to hear your thoughts, drop them in the comments. Meanwhile, there's also buzz about Jun-seo and Si-an possibly being an endgame couple. First speculation was from this photo. The closeness between Si-an and him looked so tight that people felt they were together. A fan also claimed to have seen Si-an at one of Jun-seo's exhibitions in December, bringing him flowers and patiently waiting for him to finish. The fan shared, "I went to Jun-seo's art exhibition right before it ended in December around 5 p.m. And Si-an was there, holding flowers and waiting for him. She stayed with him for hours. At the time, I just thought, wow, she must be his super pretty girlfriend. But when the Singles Inferno teaser came out, I realized what was actually going on. Since it's already been spoiled, I'll just say it, they really suited each other." And this isn't the only fan who has mentioned this. Others claim they've heard spoilers as well, with one even alleging that an editor from the show confirmed that out of all the rumors circulating, the only true one is Si-an and Jun-seo's pairing. But beyond the rumors, let's focus on what the show itself is revealing. Who do you think Jun-seo, Si-an, and Dong-go will ultimately choose? Before diving into those details, let's briefly touch on the major developments in episodes 5 and 6. And what the trailers from episodes 7 and 8 reveal. First off, the game changers arrived. The ladies chose only one participant and that was Jong-hoon, which didn't surprise me. The most votes went to the most muscular guy, lol. I really wish they had chosen Ki-ha though. He seemed to be more open-minded and willing to explore connections. But Eugene didn't choose him, even after flirting with him and picking some hair of his face, laughing my ass off. After arriving in Inferno, Jong-hoon didn't really make an effort to get to know the other ladies or even find out who voted for him. Instead, he stayed completely devoted to Si-an. This kind of behavior reminds me of Taeho's approach. Now, before Taeho fans come for me, let me just say, I really like Taeho and he is still one of my favorites. But you all know, that is if you've been following me for a while, that I will still keep it 100, and speak my mind even if the person is my fave. I have to say that some of Taeho's actions feel more like they're for the audience rather than being driven by genuine feelings for Si-an. From the moment he saw her, he locked in on her without even trying to explore other connections. While his loyalty is admirable, at times, it feels a bit intense and unnatural. I just wish he had let things flow more organically rather than forcing an instant deep connection. It just sometimes feels suffocating and unreal. But that said, I do appreciate him for keeping things entertaining. His presence definitely adds a lot of excitement and much needed fun to the show, and for that, I'm happy and can't complain. Now, back to the game changers, we have a new female participant, Hae-lin. Her arrival shook things up, making it 7 women against 6 men, which is pretty wild. But seriously, why would the producers do this to my girls? They dangled 3 incredibly hot men in their faces only to give them a chance to save just one. Meanwhile, things aren't balanced in Inferno, we're still 1 man short. I feel this isn't a fair game if no other man will be joining them before the show ends. That said, Hae-lin definitely brought a new level of competition. She's a total game changer and embodies everything a catfish should be, smart, strategic and unpredictable. The fact that Dong-go, who had been the odd one in the midst of all the actors and models, suddenly found himself in the spotlight and became the center of attraction is epic. It's frustrating when production leaves out scenes that air in the original trailers, but leave them out in the final cut. Like her trip to Paradise with the 2 men. Production didn't show this pool scene, but you could tell from the lady's hair that this was Hae-lin, with Dong-go on her left and Jung-soo on her right. This makes me wonder why this scene was not aired, but some portions of the show that were totally unnecessary made it on air. As viewers, we deserve to see the build-up in the participants' relationships, but it seems we've been missing a lot in the edits. Actually, it was after Hae-lin arrived that I felt the first chemistry on the show, and this was between her and Dong-go. She brought out the spiciness in the gentle accountant, and I suddenly found myself being interested in Dong-go for once. However, I have to admit, most of the other scenes felt a bit slow, and I was starting to wonder how the show was planning to stretch all this into 12 episodes, if all we see is 4 men on 1 woman, which is totally not exactly the dynamics or multi-layered connections I was expecting this season. I thought someone like Hae-jin would be getting more attention, but surprisingly, the men seem to be getting uninterested after the first dates with her, which is pretty strange. So after wondering if I have to sit through this level of boredom in the next 2 episodes, I decided to check the trailers one more time, and boy was I excited. Whatever boredom I felt from episodes 5 and 6 completely disappeared because there's so much more to come. Based on the trailers, I believe Taewon and Ji-yeon will get one of the best dates in Paradise so far. There's this scene of a couple skating, and based on their body frames, I'm pretty sure it's them. The girl's hair color matches Ji-yeon's, and the guy's arms also matches Taewon's profile. But it didn't end there. During their date, a scene was shown where Ji-yeon flashes someone something she wore or didn't wear under her robe. The editors then cut to the MC's reactions, who were absolutely losing it. I have a strong feeling that Taewon and Ji-yeon's date is going to be so spicy that we might not even get to see all of their moments aired. That's why I suspect they're the ones involved in the bed scene shown in the teaser. Although I know we hear Si-an's voice in the teaser saying, "Aren't we moving too fast?" But honestly, I feel like I've heard her say that line already on the show, so that might just be a soundbite added to this scene to make it seem even hotter than it already is, hahaha. Anyways, that's my first guess for the couple in bed. However, there are 2 things that made me doubt my own prediction. In this clip, if you observe the person in the bed closely, you'd see she has a darker hair. Plus, here's also a scene in the trailers where Ji-yeon tells the girls that she doesn't think someone likes her like he claims. It seems she's talking about Taewon in that clip. So while I would have loved for my first guess to be true, I do have 2 other theories about who the bedroom couple might be. I will talk about that shortly. Quick reminder, pop stars. If you'd like to support me, please consider watching the ads on my videos without skipping, unless they're ridiculously long, in which case, I totally understand. Also, if you shop through my Amazon links in the description, I get a tiny percentage from Amazon, and every little bit helps. So, thank you in advance. Now, let's talk about Si-an's Paradise date with Jun-seo. In the trailers for episodes 7 and 8, she actually started crying during their date. To me, it seemed like she already knew whom she was going to choose, but she felt sorry that she was going to break the heart of someone that may genuinely love her. Before leaving for this Paradise date, she won the cap game and chose Jung-soo as her date. She told him they should share the last date in paradise together. Usually, when people say this, it means they've made up their mind. But the most confusing aspect is that after promising Jung-soo they'll meet each other for the final paradise date, she not only chose Jun-seo to go to paradise with her, she also confessed to Jun-seo that she has more feelings for Tae-ho. But why will she cry because of that if not because she probably feels bad that she might not choose Tae-ho in the end? She could be feeling bad that she can't fully reciprocate his feelings. Emotionally, I feel they are not on the same page. If I am right, then that might be scary. It's a game of choosing who likes her versus whom she likes. Theo keeps professing his love for her, but her connection with him isn't strong while Jung-seo's heart is half in and half out. In my opinion, Jung-seo will do a complete 180 if Hae-lin gives him the kind of attention he's looking for. But it seems he's realized that his best option is Si-an, especially since she's been the most consistent with him compared to the other women. He may have observed that Hae-lin is more drawn to Dong-go, leaving him with no choice but to stick with Si-an. I definitely wouldn't want to be in Si-an's position. It's a difficult situation to be in. On the flip side, she might also be crying because she knows she really likes Jung-soo, but she'll have to drop him because she isn't feeling his sincerity. Honestly, Jung-soo's last statement after their talks weren't convincing at all, and I think Si-an felt it. The trailers also showed Jun-seo asking Si-an if things could have been different if he had chosen her the first day. He also asked her if there was room for him. That alone tells me that he feels like he missed his chance and is now scrambling to make up for lost time. So, anything is possible, since we are just on day 5. There's also the clip of when she saw Tae-ho, who welcomed her with happy smiles and reminded her she was always his only choice, and we see her beaming with joy. This could mean that she went to the next paradise date with Tae-ho, which brings me to my second guess that the couple in the bed is Tae-ho and Si-an. Only Tae-ho and Jun-seo are that playful to jump in the bed like that with a female participant, lol. So, this brings me to my third guess. The last clip shown was Jun-seo asking Min-seol if she wanted to go to paradise and she said yes. She even said she's made up her mind now. So, it seems like they'll go to paradise together, which brings me to my third suspicion that the people under those covers are Jun-seo and Min-seol. These two play together a lot. And it seems they were playing rough under those sheets, lol. Honestly, I feel like Jun-seo is keeping Min-seol around as his fallback or backup plan in case things don't work out with Si-an. I do have to give Min-seol major props though. She had me laughing the most in episodes 5 and 6, she has some crazy facial expressions. It's insane, but I love it. Plus, she actually showed a lot of maturity by stepping back from her fangirling over Jun-seo and letting him go ahead and pursue his chat with Si-an. It seemed Si-an felt a bit uneasy when she saw Jun-seo resting his arm around Min-seol's shoulder. Could that be jealousy? Those two just give me deep friendship vibes, just like Hae-jong was with Gwon-hee in season 3. Jun-seo played so hard with Si-an in front of everyone in the pool during the day. It's really strange how she said she didn't know he was expressing his feelings to her. I think she already knew, but she wanted him to verbally confirm it. It's possible that Si-an had already started developing feelings for him as well without her realizing it. That could explain why she had that expression when she saw him with Min-seol, even though she was saying she had no idea that he liked her. I strongly believe she knew. I also found it really interesting how Min-seol gave in easily to the challenge with Si-an concerning Jun-seo but seemed much more defensive when it was against Eugene. Just an observation, but it makes me wonder if there was something deeper going on there. But the most shocking discovery I made was this pool scene. Look closely, guys, whose nails are those? Those are definitely Eugene's nails, and her body frame matches too. This means she's also going to paradise at some point. But the bigger question is, who's the guy next to her? So, there are 4 possibilities: Dong-go, Jun-seo, Tae-ho, or the new guy, Jong-hoon. In the trailer for the upcoming episode, we saw Eugene finally opening up about her feelings to Dong-go. He looked a bit taken aback, and she even asked him to go to paradise with her once before making a final decision about whether he was truly uninterested, which he responded by saying he'd have to consider that carefully. Personally, I would really love to see her finally have a chance to go on a date with Dong-ho because she deserves that chance, but let's be real, Dong-go is about to get very busy. He's going to be juggling quite a bit in the upcoming episodes between Hae-lin and Hae-lin. He got so busy to the extent that he felt bad that he led someone on or confused her as mentioned in his soundbite. If Hae-lin doesn't give up on him to pursue Taewon, I believe she has a higher chance of getting Dong-go. Arin should be very nervous at this point. For now, I think Dong-go is the most genuine male contestant on the show. He seems to be fully invested in the experience, and his emotions show. However, if we compare his body frame to the guy next to Eugene in this pool scene, it's not Dong-go. Let's move to the next person. At first, I thought those arms belonged to Jun-seo. Honestly, I had written off the idea of Jun-seo and Eugene as a couple since episode 1, but after seeing this clip, could this be the big twist the producers were teasing? What if they actually become an endgame couple, ha. That will be really wild, right? But jokes aside though, I don't think it's Jun-seo and neither do I think it's Tae-ho. I believe the person next to her in the pool is Jong-hoon. Remember what Eugene said when she voted to keep him in Inferno? She said she had a feeling he might change up her game in the show. So, there's a possibility that she made moves to engage him and catch his attention. Now, here's why I really think it's Jong-hoon and why they have a potential to be a final couple. Look at his swim trunks, the way he tied the knot is exactly the same as when he played remove the opponent's cap game with the ladies. His body proportions fit the profile of the guy in the pool. And those thighs of his, OMG, he has the sexiest thighs of all the men, ha. It seems the new guy might change things up and stop being boring soon. Let's hope he does. It'll be nice to see Eugene having fun with someone. I'm also really excited for Taewon and Ji-yeon's date. They started building some chemistry in Inferno, but we haven't seen much of them together yet. This time, I think we're finally going to get lucky and see their connection really take off. So, what are your thoughts on this video? Have you also detected any new connections or chemistry between the members? What about my discoveries? Do you agree or disagree? Which couple were in the bed and pool? Share your thoughts, speculations and opinions in the comments. I can't wait to discuss with you all. Thanks for watching, please subscribe and like the video.